All right. I only came on here to that my Harriet Tubman pins are only available till midnight. These are my Harriet Tubman pins. I love them. Thank you, official Drunken Mass. And they are only available till midnight. And I really mean that. If you think that I'm like fronting and it's like, surprise. Harriet doesn't look like Sexy Red, but I guess you were trying to be funny. If you think I'm going to be like, surprise, we're extending it. I'm not. I'm not going to be like that. Because once I'm done with this sale, I can get off Instagram again. So, pistol pin at amandaseales.com. And you can also support the show that this is based on. My one-woman show, What Would the Ancestors Say? And that is also available at amandaseales.com. I'm Doug Johnson. That's a stupid question. You know, when people say, there's no such thing as a stupid question, there are stupid questions. Because to me, a stupid question is a question you can answer for yourself. So someone just asked me, why didn't you call them Araminta Ross pins, since that's her real name? Don't nobody know that that's Harriet Tubman's real name like that. Okay? Don't nobody know. So if I say it's the Araminta Ross pin, you like, who the fuck is Araminta Ross? Like, I don't have to answer you. I don't have to, like, explain that. That right there, Farron Keith Clark. People trying to one up all the time. Yes. Always. Everybody on here be really, not everybody, but so often folks is like, but how about like, exactly chocolate_star64. Exactly. He just wanted us to know that he knew that her real name was Araminta Ross. Now, mind you, he could have said, did you know her real name was Araminta Ross? And I would have said, yes. Yes. But folks on here are so, like, trained to try to, I'd be like, oh my God. Oh my God. So, this is the Harriet Tubman pin. Okay? It's the Harriet Tubman pistol pin. She is holding a pistol. I love the detail on the pin. I love that the revolver is a different color. The revolver is white. I love that the phone, like, can you see it? The phone is gold, but then it has the little white lines right here for the receiver and the speaker. And I love the little coil of the phone cord, because I know y'all didn't think I was going to have her on no iPhone. I know you didn't think that. No. No. This is symbolizing having your ancestor on the main line, armed at the ready. Okay? Yes. You love that she's dark-skinned? Harriet Tubman wasn't light-skinned. Yeah, so here's the thing. When you're doing humor and you're creating based on facts and bringing elements of entertainment to them, it can really be important. There's certain elements that you have to decide on, like what you're going to leave behind and what you're going to bring along with you. And that's why when I wrote What Would the Ancestors Say, I actually talked with historians to make sure that there were going to be actual facts that I'm giving that are legit, and that I'm not using the humor in a way that is undermining the facts. Because that's irrelevant. Like, once you do that, it's like, well, what are we really doing? That's not interesting to me. But this, who this bitch in here talking about, do you have lice? Let me tell y'all, not on Sunday. Not on Sunday. Not on Sunday. Not on Sunday. This is my last day alive, Jalima. This is my last day alive. Someone said, you have no idea about civil rights. If you did, you would be a Republican. The ones who authored and brought to law every civil rights act for minorities. Now, here's the thing, Mark McGee 5945. If I think that you actually wanted to learn history, then I would school you right now. But I know that you don't really want to know. So it's like, it's irrelevant for me to school you. What I do want to know is, do you guys want me to school y'all or to clarify for y'all how his statement is false? Y'all might already know. And if you already know, you like, Amanda, please do not waste your breath. But if you want to know, let me know. And I will take the time right now to expound upon his statement and why it is actually inaccurate. Let me know. Okay. So there were more people that want to know than people that don't want to know. So first of all, I don't want to pin it on my shirt because my shirt is silk. I'm a 43-year-old woman. Stop talking to me like I'm a fucking idiot. I don't want to pin a pin on my shirt because this is silk and I don't want to ruin the silk. So shut up. Okay. Now, when people say things like, hold on, let me block this person real quick. When people say things like, oh, you know, it was Republicans that gave black people that gave black people civil rights laws, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. First of all, it was Republicans that gave black people civil rights laws, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. First of all, we have to understand that parties have changed over and over and over and over the course of the political history of this country. There wasn't and Democrats. There were other parties. The same way that right now there are other parties besides Republicans and Democrats. Why is this woman on here with a whole Palestinian flag harassing me? Naz Bashir 786. What's wrong with you? What's your fucking problem? What's this Naz Bashir broad's problem? Somebody tell me. Yeah, report Naz Bashir 786. Oh, I'm going to block her. But I first wanted to know what her problem was. Don't tell me what to do. If I want to ignore haters, I will ignore them. Please stop telling me what to do. Please. Please. Please stop asking me to do things. Just stop. I don't like it. I don't like it. Amanda Seales doesn't like it. So just stop. Stop asking me to do shit. Stop telling me to do shit. I don't like it. It's annoying as hell. Okay. So as I was saying, when it comes to the parties change over time. The parties change all the time over time. And so when people say things like, oh, it was the Republicans who did such and such. Well, the Republican Party was what it was. And then in the 60s, when the civil rights laws happened, the Republican Party actually shifted in terms of its ideals because it didn't want to continue the practice of civil rights laws. So that's how you got the Democrats being quote unquote like the party for black people when they're really not the party for black people. They were just kind of de facto not as bad as the Republicans. And the Republican Party was who Lincoln was a part of at the time of the Emancipation Proclamation. Again, we have to remember though, the Emancipation Proclamation did not free everybody from slavery. It did not free everybody from slavery. The Emancipation Proclamation only freed the slaves of the rebel states. And that was because the rebel states were the ones trying to secede from the Union and from America. The rebel states were the ones that were a part of the Confederacy and were at war. But there were other states that had slaves. Delaware, Kentucky, Missouri, they had slaves. And they did not have to free their slaves. Not right away. Not right away. And so, hold on, I'm blocking somebody. And so, when we look at the conversation around Lincoln freeing the slaves, we have to remember that this was a military action. If we tell the rebel states that they have to free their slaves, then that means that those slaves from the rebel states will escape to come to the Union in order. Rebel states and southern states. Was rebel states southern states? Yes, the rebel states. That's why they call the Confederate flag the rebel flag. So Lincoln was basically just doing a military maneuver. Like, we need more forces. We're losing. So we need more forces. So, okay, we're going to say that the Emancipation Proclamation frees all the people in the rebel states and they have to stop their slavery. So the rebels are literally continuing fighting like, no, we're not doing that. But what it means is that the black people who leave will be free if they come to the Union and they're going to fight. That's why when we talk about the Emancipation Proclamation, like, it wasn't immediate. It wasn't immediate. So, when people say things like, oh, if black people were really black people, if black people really wanted like freedom or whatever, they would be Republican. First of all, neither of these parties are quote unquote for black people, period. Because neither of these parties ever really stood up behind individuals in their parties who stood up for the expansion of rights and protections for black people. And that includes black people in these parties in recent years. So when we talk about the way that, when people say statements like, oh, black people should be Republican if they were really about liberation, et cetera, that is a very, very, very reductive way of looking at American history. Black people have never, ever been considered equal to this country. Black people have never culturally been a part of America. Even since Emancipation Proclamation, we all know that there was an opportunity with Reconstruction. Reconstruction was not about rebuilding the country after the Civil War. That's what you get taught in school. Reconstruction was really about coming back to the table to figure out, well, what's this country going to be now that we survived the Civil War on paper? There was a constitutional convention. And they were having conversations about this. But the fucked up problem was that they included the same folks who were just trying to secede, who were just participating in a tyrannous civil war, in a treasonous civil war. They let those folks come and be a part of the Civil War. Come and be a part of the Constitution Reconstruction, the Constitutional Convention and the Reconstruction, which I think is really similar to what's happening now. We just saw these folks who were a part of January 6th and supporting January 6th, and now they still get to come up and sit in Congress and act as if nothing happened. And now you have a president who was a part of this treasonous action, who now gets to come and sit as the presidency. There's a history in this nation of allowing for folks who have attempted to overthrow the nation to still be participants in continuing it because they are white. Because they are white. Because any other time that you have seen people rise up in this nation who are not, they are immediately struck down, and they are not given a seat at the table on how it will be rebuilt. So we cannot discuss the comprehensive nature of America and the United States within the last 40 years. It's not reasonable. And for what it's worth, after World War II, there was another version of American shifting that happened on a global level. Because America, in cahoots with England, in cahoots with France, made decisions about how they were going to interact with the rest of the world. Yes, they made a deal with Saudi Arabia and said, check it. We want oil for free and we'll always have your back. Yes, they made a deal. They said, we want oil for free and we'll always have your back. Don't you ever wonder why Saudi Arabia is always like riding for the United States? It's weird. It's weird. So it's like there's no, and Americans, people here in the United States, we are so behind in our knowledge. We're so behind in our knowledge. Like it's really just detestable how behind in our knowledge we are. And like even when we look at what's happening in Syria, there's a lot to be said. I'm going to talk about what's happening in Syria on my podcast tonight, on my Small Doses bonus episode. If you are a member of Patreon, you can go to, if you're a member of Patreon, every Sunday night at 7:30 p.m., I record Small Doses podcast, and we do Small Doses bonus episode, and we do it. You can order the pin at amandaseales.com, and we do it on the StreamYard, so people are able to be a part of the chat. And I'm going to talk about Syria, and maybe I'll make a separate video that, you can purchase. But geopolitics is imperative to understanding U.S. politics, and that's the trickery. So you have a lot of folks that are having conversations about United States politics and thinking that they're really talking about something. They think that they're really doing something, but they're not contextualizing it in geopolitics. And so therefore, they are not having an actual real conversation about the United States politics. Because United States politics is rooted in the ability to be a quote unquote world leader, suppress and destabilize the world, and utilize the resources of other places. That is literally what the actual directive of United States is. Like, that is our mission statement. So when we say like, oh, the mission statement is to go and spread democracy, that is incorrect. We don't even have democracy here in the United States. We don't have democracy here in the United States. So we can't spread something that we don't have. So it's imperative that we have geopolitical conversations. I just feel like so often we see folks, particularly Black folks, having these really insular conversations that are solely just about like racism in America without actually having the concept of, oh, it's bigger than just us, which is what Malcolm X realized when he went to Hajj, when he did his Hajj and he got to Mecca and he started speaking to other people and realized like, oh shit, This is deeper than just blackness. And that's why he changed his name to El Haj Malik Shabazz and evolved again. Because when we talk about our context, the world is racist. And the world is racist, and the racism that was created to create the labor force of the colonies continues to be upheld in order to create the ability to take resources without being questioned, in order to use labor without being questioned. Like, these are real things. They expanded it. Like, you think that the way that Indian folks treat certain members of their caste systems was solely just in India, and then like it didn't matter to anybody else? No, these people look over there and they're like, oh shit, well, you do that already, so we gonna lean on to that. We gonna have that over here. Even when you talk about the way that climate change is working, climate change is affecting the global south. These people here in Europe, et cetera, they are doing whatever the fuck they want to get whatever money they want. But the global south, which is the band of the places that are within the equator and that have typically been destabilized for their resources, whether those are physical resources, whether those are fossil fuels, whether those are agricultural resources, whether those are people like bodies, those places continue to struggle. And so when you see people like fucking Donald Trump, or people like fucking Joe Biden, or people like Kamala Harris, or people like J.D. Vance talk about immigrants and there being an immigrant problem, there isn't an immigrant problem. There is a U.S. imperialism problem. The United States goes to places, fucks their shit up, people leave, and go to the place where... So think of it this way, like, if these niggas come and rob me, the safest place would be where them niggas came from. If I'm like, these niggas is coming over here robbing this shit and they taking it back to there, well, shit, I need to be there. So whenever you see this conversation about there's an immigrant problem, it's not an immigrant problem. Where are these people supposed to go? You went to their block and dug up their whole shit. So they coming to your block. It happens in Africa. People be getting on the boat. Well, we coming to Europe. You niggas is over here taking our shit. And let me tell you, if folks on the continent could get to China by boat, they would be there too, because China be up in there, up and running all up and through there as well. So people be on my head. I just got a message today from somebody like, you owe Kamala Harris an apology because you didn't understand the level of what's going on. I get these messages every day. And it's so disheartening because it really represents the effectiveness of the United States effort to diminish intelligence, to diminish education, to suppress geopolitical consciousness, and to make us think that we live in a silo that we need to protect. You watch the show Silo on Apple TV. I hate the show. Okay, I don't like that show. But the concept is we have to protect the silo at whatever cost, because it's all we got. It's not all we got. This is not all we got. The thing about China not invading countries is that, no, China has not forcefully invaded countries. However, China culturally and economically invades countries all the time. China is in Grenada right now, and they build a stadium, and then they build their own places, their own buildings, their own land, and they don't interact with the people. They don't bring their dollar into the economy of the community. They go and they set up their little Chinatown right here, and they only interact with each other. That is invasion. Now, if they were coming into the community, if they were interacting with the community, if they were fortifying the community, that would be different. But they don't do that. They don't do that. They've done it in Central African Republic. Like, they do it all over the place. It's just a different type. So when Maryland's like, well, what do we got? This person, Maryland, says, well, what do we got? We, Black people, we have our bodies. We have our culture. We have our artistic innovation. We have like those types of things. We do not have legislative power. We don't have legislative power because we keep thinking that if we just get in there, then that's legislative power. But if you just get in there and you don't do anything specifically for your people, then you don't build up their community to be able to actually have power to challenge and create legislation. No, you just keep going in there and acting white or acting American, so to speak. So it's like this idea that we have to do whatever we can to just protect this little America, if no matter what happens to the rest of the world. To me, that is incredibly problematic and it's unsustainable. It's not sustainable. And I think what's really trippy is that people act like 100 years is a long time, and it's not. It's not. Yes, exactly. Right here, sis said China uses modern day colonialism through building infrastructure. Correct. I think they own Uganda's airport, but don't quote me on that. Exactly. They come in and they build infrastructure, but through those contracts, they get to own pieces of these countries in ways that actively undermine that country's ability to have true independence and sovereignty. So it's just the hyper-individualism that j'aime vous. Someone said, can you explain white culture? Ooh, child. White culture is colonialism. That's what white culture is. White culture is colonialism. It's not polka. It's not camping. It might be mayonnaise. But ultimately, white culture is colonialism. So, that's that. Someone said, what books am I into right now? Well, when I get off of this live, I'm going to be writing because I have to finish my book, Body Waving Through the Bullshit. But I'm reading George Jackson, Blood in My Eye. I'm reading a book on being able to read signs in the world, in the universe. I'm reading Parable of the Sower. And I'm reading a book called White Malice about the white efforts that were taken to undermine Africa. That's a slow read because it's so dense. And then I am doing an audio reading I'm listening to How Democracies Die about fascism. I mean, just because, listen, I love mayonnaise too. That don't mean it's not white culture. My book titles are posted in my Patreon. You mean like my book titles that I'm reading? Now you got to catch them. You got to catch it. You got to catch it, or you can go to my Patreon and subscribe to my Patreon, which is a safe space where we have real conversations and we teach each other and we learn. It's, oh my God. I don't think y'all understand how irritating it is when you come in here and you ask questions like, what solutions? Real question. When you ask what solutions, are you actually looking for solutions? Do you truly consider there not to be any? And or are you simply just saying that as a straw man to try to undermine the information sharing that's taking place? Tell me. Because I feel like anytime somebody be like, so what are the solutions? I'm like, have you been listening? Like, what do you need? Like, what? If hyper-individualism is the issue, then what's the solution? The antithesis to hyper-individualism. Building fucking coalitions like Cami Kell said right here. If the issue is suppression of education, then the solution is the antithesis of that. It is active, intentional education. Come on. Like, cut it out. You're annoying. Now, I'm going to start doing master classes in the new year. It's not going to be classes like I'm a professor of like a particular like topic. I feel like what I think a lot of people are missing are tools. Like I want to do a master class around confrontation. I want to do a master class around how to research. I want to do a master class on conflict communication. Ooh, let me block this dumb bitch. Hold on. So like these are the things that I think are it's kind of like if we have to build community, there's like tools that are needed to build community. And we don't have those tools. So we can talk about community all day, but we literally don't have the tools on community. We're so hyper individual. Like we don't even oftentimes understand the difference between boundaries and stubbornness, right? Like there's boundaries, but then there's also like your ego-driven stubbornness. Those are two different things. Kashawn, let me tell you something about Kashawn Rains. She gonna give you a title, okay? As someone who be giving titles, Kashawn gonna give you a title. Back to basics. Yeah, it's like comprehension. How do you improve your critical thinking skills? How do you improve comprehension? Now listen, I'm sure that there are all types of books about these things. I ain't consulting none of that. I'm gonna tell you from my, I'm gonna just tell you from my point of view, the things. It's gonna be an amandaseales curriculum. How do you improve your critical thinking? How do you improve your comparative analysis skills? How do you improve your comprehension skills? What are the ways in which you can do this? And you will be able to connect to the master classes regardless, but you'll get a discount if you're a Patreon subscriber. So next year is all dedicated to a shift in my life to really being completely out of the Hollywood industry and really leaning into creating artistic, intellectual spaces within my Patreon, within physical performances of shows, as well as in digital interactions where we have masterclasses. And Kashawn said right here, joining the SEAL Squad via Patreon is a great way to connect with community. And she's not just bullshitting. Like, there's people on Patreon who have met each other and, like, exist outside of Patreon. Like, they've created friendships. There's people who have gotten jobs through the Patreon interactions because what's so beautiful, too, is that I'll see somebody say some dumb shit on Patreon, and before I even have to say something, other folks are like, now you can't open closed minds. Crystal, you can't open closed minds. All you can do is demonstrate. That's all you can do. You can demonstrate louder. And when I say demonstrate, I don't just mean like, hey, no, we won't go. I mean like live in demonstration. The only way to me that you open closed minds is just by being relentlessly about yo shit. Unwavering. Do you know how many people come to me now and be like, I didn't really fuck with you before, but I fuck with you now. Kashawn, I hope you're writing all these down so you can send me an email. Kashawn said, but yes, the Patreon patrol gets real quick. They be like, now you know that's not how it go. But no, you know how many people come to me now and be like, oh, Amanda Seales, I actually didn't fuck with you before, but now I see what you mean. How do you know when your ego is taking over in a discussion with someone on some topic you're not agreeing on? Well, first of all, there becomes the conversation of, are they not agreeing? Or are they countering your facts with opinion? Because that's a great way to trigger my ego. You counter my facts with opinion, and you're going to trigger my ego. Because now you're insulting my intelligence. I'm telling you facts, and you telling me thoughts. And trying to undermine my facts, my hard-earned facts, with your thoughts. That's offensive. That's offensive. I don't like that. I don't like it. Why exactly, Black Diamond 27? Like, why are you playing with me? Why are you playing with me? That's what it feels like. Okay? Like you're playing in my face. I'm telling you the facts, and you over here telling me about like what you feel. Now we can talk about what you feel. We can talk about what you feel. I'm not saying don't talk about what you feel, but don't talk about what you feel as if my facts are somehow not factical. Okay? No. Now, on the flip though, you asked when are you answering from your ego when you're having a conversation with someone and they disagree? Well, I think it becomes ego when you're not willing to listen to their facts. Like, what's stopping you from listening to their facts? Is it because you are beginning to have that little bubble come up that could mean you're wrong? And that if you're wrong, you're going to look some type of way, and your ego doesn't want to look some type of way. So your ego is going to, start bubbling up. That's the thing that you have to check yourself on. I have to do it all the time. And then I have to be like, oh, I was wrong. Or, you say, okay, I'm going to do more research. Or you ask the person to explain more. Tell me more. Tell me more. And that's really, to me, like the main thing. Are you willing to listen? Tell me more. Okay. Sometimes you're having a completely opinion-based conversation. And once you have a completely opinion-based conversation, that's the most important time to not have ego. So, what happened with the election in many ways was that people were leading with emotion and ego. And so they were having opinion-based conversations without wanting to actually hear why someone else's perspective would be valid. So people were saying to me that my perspective of saying, these politicians are demanding our votes. This is a great opportunity for us to make demands of them since we hold more power and we actually need more because they've taken so much. People had alternative opinions to that. And they were like, no, what we need to be doing is X, Y, Z. And instead of it being how can we do both conversation, which is what community is. That's not compromise. That's consensus. How do we please everybody? Sometimes you can please everybody, right? Sometimes you can. You can say, all right, well, we're going to make you happy by doing this, and we're going to make me happy by doing this. And that will make us all happier being with each other. But what was really going on within the Black Democrat movement was this idea that you can't have two ideas at one time. And this is a result of systemic efforts at diminishing critical thinking skills, comparative analysis skills, etc. You don't have to feel compromised if you are being served without disruption. So when we talk about these things and we say things like community and we all need to be together, there was never going to be a consensus to vote for Kamala Harris. Because the same issues that make those other people look down on Black people, trans people, folks that want abortion to be a law, abortion to be a right, etc. Those same things that make them say, we don't like you because you different. That's an American ideal. The Democrats were doing the same thing. We don't like y'all because you different. We don't like you all because you are staunchly opposed to a genocide. We don't like you because you think that Kamala Harris should have to be met with demands. We don't like you because you think trans rights should be a focus. We don't like you because you're making it about immigration. So, but the thing is that they had been on their shit for so much longer in ramping up their folks that these people, they didn't stand a chance. And Desmond Cobb is correct. We did not conduct a consensus to select Kamala as a candidate. I think people would have been far more supportive of Kamala Harris as a candidate if they had been given an option and the majority chose, and then folks would say, well, the majority chose. That's what democracy really is. The majority chose. Also, I need people to stop point blame at Hispanic people for why Trump won. The issue is so much more complicated than that. I mean, there's just multiple reasons why Trump won. And none of those reasons have anything to do, though, with my Harriet Tubman pins. So the pins are on sale only until midnight, y'all. Only until midnight. The pins are on sale only until midnight. I will not be on Instagram again until I am putting something else up, until I do another drop. So if you want to hear more opinions, you want to hear more thoughts, you're going to have to go to my Patreon and subscribe. You're going to have to go to my Patreon and subscribe. Thank you, Malika0923. Yes, Kashan. Listen. Because I used to really hate doing this, but now that I've really taken ownership of Girl, You're a Merchant, I'm here. It's my QVC. This is my time to now get over myself and really be in people's faces, relentless about my pins, about my one-woman show. That's what it is. Sunday session summary. Join Patreon and subscribe. Yeah, I know that I'm not fucking crazy. And no matter how much people try to make me out to be, I am not. I've never been crazy. I've been the same person my whole life. I'm going to start posting some of my journal entries for y'all on Patreon. 8 years old. I have a journal entry where I was like, I'm not laughing and giggling today and talking. I'm talking to my teacher. I'm like, I'm not laughing and talking today because I can't find my hamster. And we can't find Houdini, and I don't know where he is. And I had a fish, and the fish died. Now I have a pet with fur. I cannot let that die. I just, like this little baby was like, this shit is a mammal. I can't let the mammal die. I can't let the mammal die. I done let the fish die. I can't let the mammal die. I can't let it do it. So I've always super, I found another journal entry. Y'all, I explained an entire episode of ER to my teacher. an entire episode of ER, front and back on the damn journal paper. And then I end it with, where are you from? As in what city and state? Where are you from? As in what city and state? I was just dying because it was just so like, yeah, about all that. Forget all that. Where are you from? What city and state? As in what city and state? Oh, man. So, yes, Black Diamond 27. I've been trying to find. My mama has sent me this paper that I wrote when I was in 7th grade, and I've been trying to find it for like a year now, and I can't find it. But I literally wrote a paper to my gifted teacher about how I regretted being gifted because people either think I'm a know-it-all, or people either think I think I'm a know-it-all, or they expect me to know it all. And I'm neither. So then it's like, where I don't fit in anywhere. And I was like, I would really just like to be normal. Someone said, you are consistent and authentic. You care deeply and are not a hypocrite. You are a mirror. If people don't like you, it's because you trigger something in themselves that they avoid. It's true. And I've gotten to the point now where I'd be like, it's okay. I know I'm triggering something else. I know I'm triggering something in you that you're avoiding. And I hope that I wish you ease on that journey. That's what I've started doing. I'm just like, it's okay. You giving me a lot of heat right now, and it's because XYZ. Oh my God, I have so many journals. I have journals and wraps. I have so many wraps, y'all. So many wraps. You know what, Kashawn? You're right. We did not mention that. So, just so y'all know, the Harriet Tubman pen comes with a signed hard copy, What Would the Ancestors Say ticket from my tour. Okay? So you're getting a commemorative item that is actually autographed. And then once you take the pin off of it, it becomes a bookmark. Did someone say, what are wraps? W-R-A-P-S? You know, raps. You know, like, raps. Let us hear something. I always have a rap on deck. Always. I always have 16 bars on deck. At all times. All times. I'm trying to sell these pins out, though, before the night is done. Let's take a look at the progress that we've made. Okay, FR Spirited. Just I had to dip out real quick and buy my pen. It says sold out? No, it don't say sold out. Hold on, I'm just doing a little check. Chiggy check. Inventory. I say yeah. All right. We have 79 pins available. 79. Now, you might be like, what is the point of these pins? Well, first of all, just joy. But also, I designed this, and I am really activating next year a policy where I'm not buying things unless they are art or necessity. My consumerism, like most of us in the United States, has gotten out of hand. So now I'm like, I have to pare down, and I need to be buying things specifically because they are art or they are necessity. Art brings me joy. Necessity brings me like life. And as an artist and an artistic intellectual, my art is for the goal of empowering the mind and the spirit. And every drop that I will do will be related to that. So what I'm doing right now is fortifying myself to be able to make this transition out of Hollywood, out of doing what I was doing before, and into a space where I can create and support myself on making things that matter to me and for us. That's what I'm doing. What's in Harriet's left hand? Harriet, my good sis, is holding a gun and she's on the phone because you want your ancestors to always be on the main line. They need to be reachable. And she's holding the gun because she got you. She got you. So I'm like, do I want to do a series of ancestors on the main line? Because to me, that's hilarious. It's also how I really want things to be. I want my ancestors on the main line. So I have so many ideas. It's like I have so many ideas, because then it was like, okay, do you want to do like different pins for the different elements of the What Would the Ancestors Say show? And it's like, yes, but in all the pins, they all need to be on the phone. All the pins that are related to the What Would the Ancestors Say show need to be on the phone, because What Would the Ancestors Say? Okay, so let me also say this. What Would the Ancestors Say is my one-woman show that you can now watch the first 30 minutes of it for free at amandaseales.com. It is available for purchase at YouTube. It is available for purchase at my Patreon. What Would the Ancestors Say is a live stream that I produced on November 2nd at Kept on Stage Studios. There will be future productions of this because so many people have watched this show and said to me that this is a necessity. It's not just a piece of art. It is a piece of life. And I really am so glad that they feel that way, because I feel that way about this work. It's also a work in progress. Like when me and my business partner, when we finally got it up and we did the live stream, it was like, oh my gosh, like we finished. And it was like, no, you started. You literally started. If you subscribe to Patreon at the highest tier, you get to see What Would the Ancestors Say for free. What I would suggest, if you want to join Patreon, try it out, as well as see What Would the Ancestors Say, subscribe for 1 month to the highest tier. That allows you to see What Would the Ancestors Say for free. It also allows you to see what the Patreon will be like for free. Not for free. It also allows you to see what the Patreon will be like. So for $20, you get to see what Patreon is like, and you get to see What Would the Ancestors Say. And then if after that month you're like, I can't keep giving you $20, but I still want to be in Patreon, you can reduce your subscription to the $5 tier and still get everything except for What Would the Ancestors Say. And if you're like, I just can't do any of this, or you're just like, it's not for me, you may have given up $20, but you got full access to the Patreon and to a space of people who are compassionate, who are culturally competent, and who are creative. And you also got access to see a full-on production that is historically and comedically based. That sounds like a great deal, if you ask me. So when I had Too Short on my radio show the other day. I love Short. He's just such a cool guy. And he was talking about Blow Your Whistle. And he was saying how Blow Your Whistle, he pushed Blow Your Whistle for 2 years before it popped. And we was like, get out of here. Get out of here. You was pushing Blow Your Whistle for 2 years before it popped. And I heard that and it made me, and he was like, I don't think any other rappers can say that they got their biggest hit at 40. And you know what that made me say? I'm going to do the same route. Yes, I have been involved in incredibly successful projects, whether they be my own or other people's. So Smart, Funny, and Black is my own. Insecure was Issa's, right? But I've been involved in really successful projects. But I was like, I wonder if there's a possibility here for me to receive this, I don't like the word information, receive this testimony as a way to empower and motivate my own path. And I was like, okay, in the past, I would just do something and be done. No, I'm going to commit to what would the ancestors say, and I'm going to push what would the ancestors say for 2 years. And I'm not just going to do it. I'm going to push it. And a lot of times I have stood in my own way of things because I don't want to look too eager. I don't want to be too pressed. And even now I was going to change. So I moved from California. And so I have to reestablish my business in the new state that I'm in. And I really thought, well, with this new administration, maybe I want to change my company name from Smart, Funny, and Black to SFB. And I was really contemplating that. But I have a sixth sense. My sixth sense is, I have a couple sixth senses, but one of them is a clairvoyance that lets me know when I'm off the path. So I don't know like what we're doing here, but I know that I, Amanda Seales, like I know for a fact that my soul has a very clear path that it's supposed to walk for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because there's some destiny that we're all going towards and like my soul plays a role in that. So I need to follow a certain path. But when I listen to my intuition, it's like, it doesn't question. And every time I don't listen to my intuition, it throws me into a whole fucking deluge and tumult of bullshit. So fast forward, I was like, I'm going to, so I was listening. So my neck burns. My neck will burn to tell me there is something that you're not doing. There's something you're not doing. You're not making the right, you're not making the right choice. And when I was having the conversation with the register agent about moving my company, my neck was on fire up in here. And I thought it may have been about the register agent. And I'm like, maybe he's shady or something. And so I will always just sleep on it. I'll just sleep on it. And before I go to sleep, I'll ask myself, why is my neck burning? So that my subconscious and my brain, my subconscious and my soul can work on it while I'm asleep. So then I woke up the next morning and this is how it always works. I woke up the next morning and immediately it told me, girl, why are you changing your name? Why are you changing your name? The name is Smart, Funny, and Black. And if anything, this administration means you need to be smarter, funny, and blacker. So fuck all that. Harriet was calling. She was on the main line. What's up, Alma Swim Foundation? I'm not going to talk about Syria right now because my brain is going to explode. Syria is not a 1-2 conversation. Syria got a lot of corners and levels. And so I'll be talking about it tonight on the Small Doses bonus episode. You can join Patreon, subscribe to Patreon, and you can join the Small Doses bonus episode every Sunday, 7:30. Thank you, Untouched Realist. Every Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Join the chat and get involved. We have real conversations. People ask amazing questions. People share real information in the chat, and I am on the camera, and we also record it as audio. So you're also able to hear it audio wise. How long have I been on here, y'all? It don't have a timer. I'm trying to sell out these pens. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to sell out these pens I was out last night and I looked really pretty. But men do not talk to me when I'm out. To the point where I had to call an ex and be like, am I as bad as I think I am? And he was like, yes. I was like, y'all. Come on. She's a baddie. Come on. And I don't know why I'm even calling my ex, because he's really my homeboy now. But my homeboy was like, yeah, because niggas be scared. I was like, damn. It's what? He said niggas be scared. Someone said soften the eyes. Shut up. Why do y'all feel the need to critique everything? Why? Just like, don't type, please. I don't know where that came from. I don't have that in me, where I feel like I gotta critique like shit like that. No, I'm critiquing like, yo, why the fuck are you cooning? Thank you, Jackie2972. I need a Malcolm X type. What's a Malcolm X type? Malcolm X was never home. I do not need a Malcolm X type. Malcolm X was a beautiful person, but Malcolm X had demons beyond. Okay? Beyond. You thought that when I said why, that I was asking for your perspective on my eyes? Soften the eyes. So you think if I soften my eyes, niggas will come talk to me? If I go like this? Ciao. I didn't have eye makeup on. I did not have eye makeup on. You're right, Untouched the Realist. You're right. Let me get focused. All right. Thank you to everybody who has bought pins. I appreciate you. My store is called Amandaland Exports. Amandaland Exports is your new site for unique, curated pieces. Somebody had said to me that they would like... Oh, okay, Janine J. I see you. Thank you for buying 2 pins. These are also great stocking stuffers. So... Amandaland Export. Someone had said to me something about slow fashion versus fast fashion. And all I could think about was there are 69 pins left. And all I could think about was couture. But aside from couture, what else is considered slow fashion? Also, I'll tell you some fast whackness. This is a mosquito bite on my face. On my face. This is a mosquito bite on my face. Okay, so Miss J, so sewing at home is considered slow fashion. So just like not hiring out. Is that what slow fashion is considered? Taking pre-orders so you don't make too many. Slow fashion or making garments owned. More sustainable and hardy materials, mostly that don't rip and degrade quickly. Okay. So it's when it doesn't involve sweatshops. That seems to be like the main one. Classic pieces. Okay, so like staple, like pieces that will be like, that will live on. Okay. Okay. Timeless pieces. Okay, got it. Okay, this helps me understand. This helps me understand. Like limited, right? So like if you made like 100. Got it. Ooh, create my own media platform. I don't want to do that. So y'all are talking about different ways that's fast fashion. Yes, the nose ring is new, Lenora. Someone said, not gonna hold you, but Patreon is like the new Underground Railroad. You should join. Ah. Okay. I mean, like, so let me tell you why a lot of that ends up being kind of like frustrating is because let's say you want to make some dope shirts. It usually costs a lot more to make less. That's how they've made it. It costs more to make less. And so that's why people be trying to do so much bulk. And it's like, if you can't, so then people be like, well, then I have to charge a higher price point in order to get a profit. Because like if you make but this is also why I don't want to make shirts and I don't want to make hoodies. I don't want to do none of that shit. No, Nina Mosley. Nina Mosley. I just spoke to Nia Long the other day. No. Because t-shirts and hoodies and all that shit is fucking frustrating as hell. I would do something where I would make like 3 sweatshirts. So I would do something where like I make one for me and I'd be like, y'all want this? Y'all want this? It's going to cost this much. Pre-order it. And then y'all would determine how many of y'all have ordered it, and then I would get those made. I don't want to do nothing with leather, Sterling, because I like the animals too much. So, like, that's the type of thing. So, okay, so that's slow fashion. Okay, got it. Conolasco says, that's true value plans. If people are paying a higher price, knowing that the value chain is being paid a fair wage is a testament to the commitment. So, like, I was just talking to Adrienne Bailan this morning because... Well, to her person, Lana, because I want to do like little earrings that represent Smart, Funny, and Black. So some, like little ones that say Rebel, Woke, Culture, and Fam. So I want to figure out how to get those created. So, yeah, house earrings, Kashan. I'm putting together, so basically what I'm going to be doing is, essentially it'll be like a pin every other month, so to speak. But I want to do a thing where, yes, L. Hendrickson, what you know about SFB Society? Y'all better know that. But I want to do a thing where you You can either buy the pin by itself, or you can buy like the bonus box. It's not really going to be a box, so I have to figure out another name for it. But basically a bonus box, which has the pin in it, and it also has specialty items. So every month or every time I do a bonus box, you'll always get a postcard, piece of artwork, a bookmark, and a pin, and then 2 other items and they're always all together in the same theme. So for Black History Month, a bonus bundle, God damn it. Let me write it in my notes. Fucking bonus bundle. Check out her stuff. Shop Brave Culture. Bonus bundle. Wow. I said bonus bundle. Wow. Bonus. All right, y'all. These pins is only 63 left. They available till midnight. 63 left. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. Wa alaikum salam. Bonus bundle. Hold on. Let me write it in my notes before I forget. Bonus bundle. Wow. Bonus bundle. Bonus bundle. Sway in downtown LA. What's that? Sway in downtown LA. Sway in downtown LA. Sway. Is that a sewing shop? Recycle your textiles. Sway Studio for brands. Okay. Have I enjoyed moving out of California? I fucking love not living in California. Yeah. Love it. Great. When are those earrings coming? I don't know. I'm having a conversation. About the earrings. I may make some patches. Do people even like patches? I don't even know if people even really like patches. No, I don't want to do none of that. I don't want to add other shit to the boxes until later. So here's the thing. I was thinking about the subscription boxes, but I feel like what I want to do before I like commit to like subscriptions is just like pop out with like bonus bundle, and then you can buy the bonus bundle. Because once I create a subscription, you're not only committed, so am I. And so I want to make sure that I get into a rhythm of how it actually works, how it actually can be compiled before I commit myself to something of that extreme. So I probably won't have like a subscription box service until 2026. But in terms of creating bonus bundles where you can purchase the box, that is something that I'm going to do next year. Okay, so y'all are still doing patches. Oh, I see you, L. Okay. Sustainable consumption. Okay. Who's going to want their bonus? But exactly. They're going to want their bonus bundle check. No. Now, if a brand is like, hey, we would love to put our new lip gloss in your box, in your bundle for free. First, they got to send it to me and I got to do a review of it to make sure I even fuck with it. Okay. But if they want to do that, if they want to put their bonus, if they want to put it in the box, then fine. If someone's coming out with a book, right? So like Bob the Drag Queen. Bob the Drag Queen has a book called like Harriet Tubman Live on Stage. Now, his publisher might be like, all right, well, we're going to give 50 Harriet Tubman books to Amanda Seales to put in her bonus bundle. Now, the thing about that, though, is, ooh, child, that's going to make my shipping go up. So I'm not going to be putting books in the bonus bundle, y'all. No, because the shipping is going to cost you money, not me. And I'm not trying to cost you money. I'm not. Now, what I would do is try to figure out how maybe they could give me some type of QR code that gives them access, that gives you access to like the Kindle version. Or maybe that gives you a gift certificate, right? Something like that. Yep, I'm with you, James Maurice. James with a Z. I like that. James with a Z. He said James with a Z. All right, let's look at these inventory. Let's look at, are y'all buying these pens or not? So y'all don't want to buy no more pens? Because if y'all not going to buy no more pens, I'm going to just get off this thing. I'm going to just get off the thing. I'm going to just get off. So what I'm going to do is this, though. Because what happens is that when you're on here, it stops sending it to people. So I'm going to get off and I'm going to come right back. So now that y'all know that, you can come and look for me and come right back. I'm not making another version of the pen.